Two, one. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Discussions with Dazerin today. As promised, I got the man, the myth, the legend, the Dave from Dundee himself, Miztik, to come on the show. Miztik, welcome. It's great to have you here. How are you doing, and how's life in Dundee, my guy?
Life in Dundee is boring, but I'm doing good. I'm looking forward to Gnarly. Can't wait to get out of this place.
Hey, that's great. That's great. So we're gonna start from the beginning. Well, not really from the very beginning, but just your competitive career. Uh, when did you get into Rocket League as a competitor?
I was competing in the first couple hundred hours I played, to be honest. I picked the game up with friends I was playing H1Z1 with. We played a little bit, but I always played a little bit more than they did. They got bored pretty fast, but I kept going. Within probably 1 to 200 hours, I was playing ESLs with a couple friends, and all started from there.
Oh wow, again, that's very early to get involved in the competitive scene, especially for that first 100 hours. But I mean, you've definitely shown that you are a proven Rocket League competitor, spanning across multiple teams, even playing in the RLCS Grand Finals on Market Esports with KDOP and Fairy Peak. But let's talk about that for a little bit. What was it like playing for Market?
Did I be honest, or what's a tough one? There a lot of stuff went on with that team. It was good.
Yeah.
The team was great. And Fairy is amazing. He's hilarious. I love him. Kid up too, but I don't know. It was a struggle for a while. We had like the best start possible. We were winning everything, and then we had a bit of a bad spot in the middle where it got really frustrating, especially for me because me and Fairy wanted to change a lot of things, and we were struggling quite a bit, but. The K-Dop not so much was interested in changing a lot. He was kind of hard to work with for a little bit. He made us very worried, but I mean, I guess it worked out in the end. We got the grand final, so I can't really complain too much.
Okay, that it's interesting that you like start off by bringing up um the actual players in the team. Like usually when I think of asking someone a question about what's it like playing for Market, I don't think that someone will respond by just talking about the internal issues from the team side, but more so like the backlash from like fans of you guys just because of the org you guys were playing under. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I never really thought too much into it. It's a basic concept where they treat their players well. I was happy with being a player for them, but obviously nobody really enjoyed us being under the mock organization, so it was, I don't know, it was fine for a player, like from a player's perspective, but
Mm-hmm.
from a fan's perspective it was a bit yikes. So I mean, that was, it was as simple as that, really.
Yeah, you're actually right. Of course, there's a lot of times where watching you guys, at least like in my little circle of friends, everyone's like, "Oh wow, he's really good. Like this team is really, really good," but people are like, "I just can't cheer for him." Da 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 da.
Yeah,
But
that happened so much at LAN. So many people came up to me like, "You're insane. I love you, but I hate your org." So yeah, I'm supporting someone else.
and
Alrighty then.
that's so weird to hear. You know what I mean? Because everyone like they respect you as a player. It's just once you're behind some like an org that has been exposed for doing some like dirty things in the past, that's when it gets a little. That's when the line starts getting a little like thinner, like or what you really want to support as a fan at least. But from the people who I've also talked to, like behind the scenes, have always said that Market as an org, like always treated their players right. Players got paid on time. There was no real issues with that. So me personally, I couldn't complain from that perspective because everything was working. So I
Yeah,
understand what that
you're
was
right.
like.
Yeah.
But to go more into what you first brought up with playing with Fairy and KDOP, some people said that during the market time, you were a bit overshadowed from Fairy and K-Dop. Do you think like that's the case? Like people were saying like if anything ever went wrong with the team, like you were the one to take blame for that and stuff like that. Like what do you think about that?
Yeah, I feel like I have that role on every team. I get the blame for everything, and I don't mind. I feel like it's my job to make sure my teammates are comfortable playing. So, if something goes wrong, I'm happy to take the blame as long as they feel confident. It's the same on Flipside, really. I'll always be in Cux's shadow, so, it's just something I have to live with. I'm happy with it. And for Market, it was pretty much the same, which I didn't mind too much because, I don't know. Hate Up and Fairy are insane. I did everything I could to make sure they were comfortable because It was an awkward team to play in for sure. K-Dop has a super weird play style, so you know, as comfortable if he was scoring bangers was like the best, so it was fine.
I understand that. So you kind of like you're the one that like holds everything together, so to speak. I saw a little bit of that for myself when we met briefly in Atlanta. We won't talk about it too much, but I
Let's not do
definitely
that.
I definitely saw that. So let's talk about you for this season. Can you tell me like what was your biggest fault this season that you're trying to work on for next season?
Honestly, just like the slow starts we have to series, like I think like maybe two or three times we went down 2-0 in the series before we actually started playing the game. It was like our monitors were turned off or something, I don't even know. But we had the slowest starts ever, and it cost us like probably, I would say, two series in league play. It cost us for not starting off like we should have. That was probably the biggest fault, and I don't know. We practiced enough, which I was super happy with. So like, I don't regret like not playing more or doing something different. It was just the fact that the actual gameplay was just started off super slow.
Yeah, I can see. It almost developed to be a like something that like talent would kind of like label you guys as is where it's like, oh, they always start off slow, and I can understand like how that's a bad habit to like want to get into. So it's good to see that you guys are like breaking out of that towards as we get ready to go towards the next season. And just from looking at you guys and how you guys have been playing, it's definitely shown how things have sped up. You guys added Yukio to the roster recently. Real quick, like touches on how Yukio has like affected you guys as a team.
Um, Yukio himself straight up like tripled our playtime as a team. He grinds so much, and it's really motivating to see like one of our players just like trying to improve all the time, and he's always around for scrims. He's never a hassle to get a hold of. If I want him to play, he's there. It's just like that's by far the biggest change from Mark to Yukio.
Oh wow, that's good. Obviously, because you always want someone who's ready to like grind and stuff like that. So, since we're talking about players who are, I mean, of course, a newest addition to your roster, we're in a weird position here with this season into next season. Mainly, the only weird thing I would say is the fact that Scrub Killer is now on the market and everybody's trying to get a little piece of Scrub. So, there's that. But I would say besides Scrub, who's the scariest player to watch out for next season?
Yukio, easily.
Dang, easily,
You have
hands
no idea.
down.
Yeah, you've seen the difference from our RLCS season to the gnarly qualifiers, the ballistics brawl. That's pretty much all
Yeah,
Yukio. He's getting there, and I'm
he's
super
nuts.
excited. Yeah.
It's crazy too, and he's a KBN player. But that's starting to like. When Torsos first did it, when he first came out at the World Championships, we were all like, "Oh, he's KBM. Oh, wow, he's really good at it." But now it seems like it's something that's becoming more common nowadays. And then Yukio again, being able to play and keep up with you guys and add like so much of a like speed factor to your team, as well as you guys' team play improving. It definitely shows that it doesn't matter what you're playing on controller or KBM. Like you can just always be nuts.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
that's good. Who's your best upcoming player in EU?
That's a super hard question. It's hard when like no, I don't think there's any like GFNA tournaments. Like there's no real weeklies that we're playing right now. So that's where I usually see like, okay, this guy can compete. You know, like he's got potential.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard for me to see any players recently that like obviously I would have if I was playing GFNA, but off the top of my head it would probably just be Sweaty Mix. He's been around for a while, but I feel like he's always had the potential to compete, but I don't know, I guess he's either not interested or I don't know, he needs to find himself a good team or something, but he's pretty spooky. So
Okay,
I would say
okay.
him.
Everybody watch out for Sweaty Mix. Mystic's got his back. I trust Dave. Like
Yep.
he knows potential when he sees it. So besides yourself, because some people do say themselves, who is your favorite Rocket League player, and what upcoming player resembles them the most? That's a two-parter. That's a little rough.
Um my favorite player is it's gotta be Turbo. Gotta be Turbo. I say Turbo was the best in the world pre season 3. I don't know. I think he's like the smartest player in the game by far, and I don't know. I just love watching him play. It's so good. It's amazing. If I had to pick someone that would play like him, up and coming, can anyone play like Turbo really? The 3 time, like I don't know. I don't think anyone can.
Oof.
I would say nobody. No one will play quite like him for a while. I don't think.
What makes him stand out to you? Like, why is he your favorite player?
He reads the game like 2 steps ahead of everyone else. Every time I hit the ball, he's there. Every time there's a pass, he's there. Like he's just everywhere. I don't know. People don't really recognize him for his mechanics, which is fine. Like who cares? He's like the smartest player on the field at all times. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just insane. It blows my mind.
Yeah, I know a lot of people. There was a quick little discussion about players like versus like mechanics versus decision making. Obviously, you need to have a little bit of both in the competitive scene, but definitely so in these games where stopping or cutting off plays and just being there is so important. Having smart decision making and just like positioning to be where you need to be at the right time is very important. And Turbo's shown that he definitely has. So he switched to the Batmobile for land, and he was just a wall.
He took inspiration
insane.
from me, of course.
Yeah. Hey, you can
We'll
say
go
that you
with
built
that.
them. Oh man. So last episode of discussions, we had your owner Hector to join us on the show. That was
The main
that,
man.
that was a show.
Oh yes, it was great. I watched the whole thing.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, we went for over 2 hours. I started getting a little nervous because of the time, but at some point it was such a good conversation that I said to myself, I was like, okay, we just gotta let this go, and it was definitely a good time. I really enjoyed talking to him. But what were your thoughts watching it and hearing some of the things he was talking about?
I enjoyed it. Hector's a lot smarter than people give him credit for. I don't know. I love listening to his thoughts on the scene, and he's a lot of things that a lot of people don't, and he's opened my eyes to a lot of things, and I don't know. I respect him for it.
So from your perspective as a player, what's he like as an owner?
The best. If I could just like take him from Flipside and like just make him my manager for the rest of my career, it'd be great. He's awesome. I love him.
Oh wow, that's really good.
Yeah, no, he's insane. I love him.
So
One of a kind.
from watching that episode and from watching how we were just from the type of conversations we were having, was there anything that he said that like stood out to you, or like something that you think that we like people probably didn't hear or needed to focus on, like anything of that sort?
Um, I can't really think off the top of my head anything that stood out. I don't know. The whole interview was like, you were going into the interview like not knowing anything about like what goes on behind the scenes and like things to do with psionics or whatever. But I feel like everything would have probably been an eye opener for like a new viewer that was watching and didn't really have an idea of what was happening.
I'd say so myself. There was a lot of information, and it definitely provoked a lot of discussions afterwards, which was
Yeah.
which I mean, again, that's kind of what I want to do with the shows, just to get people talking about certain things. So yeah, it was definitely very informative, and it pieces together a lot of different like things that are going on around the scene that people might not necessarily understand. So there's something I'm going to bring up later that we're going to talk about as we go through, but right now I want to just talk about you on Flipside. So what was it like when you first joined Flipside? Because that's a little, you were coming in and you were playing with the duo like Marky and Cooks. So how did that feel like jumping into that team?
It was great. Me and Mark had wanted to team for a long time. There was a couple of chances where we maybe could have teamed up, but it didn't quite work out. So finally, we got to team together. We won a LAN, we won DreamHack. You know what? I'll take that. Me and Mark have some history, so that's good. But it was different. I noticed quite quickly the difference in the practice times though, because I mean on Mocket we would play weeklies all the time. We would play quite a lot. We wouldn't scrim often, but we would usually play tournaments because obviously there's money involved and that's always nice. But it was evident pretty quick on Flipside that there wasn't going to be as much practice as I was used to. So that was kind of worrying. But I mean, it started off pretty well, but obviously in the end
Right.
it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah. So can you like go into detail for me about that, the story behind Marky leaving Flipside from your perspective?
Um, well, we had a pretty bad season for the first season. It was a good eye opener at least. Like it was good motivation because we realized we were falling behind quite a bit and we had a lot of work to do. And for the next season, we had a couple boot camps. We were playing in like Pucks has a lot of ping issues and stuff, so we got some boot camps in London. So we were obviously like playing as the best we can with Cucks on good ping, which is always nice. You always want Cucks on good ping, obviously.
Mm.
So we did. We took a lot of steps to make sure that we our chances were really good. But again, we had a pretty average season, and I think we played Gale Force in regionals for that season, and we got dismantled as Gale Force will do to you, or now Dignitas, of course. So it was painful. It was tough. And immediately after I had gone through to the kitchen area, had a sandwich, just like took a break, thought about what just happened, and Mark and Cooks were still in the play area. They came out like 5-10 minutes later and just instantly decided that we wouldn't be staying together for the next season, and that Mark was going to look for other options, and we were all pretty happy with that. So yeah, it was decided pretty quickly. There wasn't really much thinking. We knew what was going to happen as soon as that series finished. Really.
Oh wow, that's if anything, it's dramatic.
Oh yeah.
But that's tough. That's really tough. Only because like you all are great people. Like
We got on
Hector.
great. We got on so well. That was the worst part is that we like as a team dynamic, like on a friendship level, it was great. Me and Mark had the weirdest times ever. So like knowing that if we went to a boot camp, we went to a LAN, like it wouldn't be me and Mark like just flopping about like idiots. It would be someone else, and that was tough, but it had to be done.
Yeah. But again, you guys are on the rise now. You have Yukio on the team. Things are looking good. You guys did great in Ballistic Brawl, and you guys are getting ready to go play in Northern Arena, if I'm correct. So
Yep, 14th to the 15th of July. Looking forward to that. It's gonna be good.
okay. So talk to me. Are you guys boot camping for that?
Yeah, we're gonna be in New York from the 5th or the 6th. Before, obviously, to get used to the jet lag and whatnot, and just get some practice in before we head over to Canada.
Okay, that's gonna be a good time.
Oh
I
yeah,
think.
it'll be the first time I meet Yukio, so it'll be nice to get to know him a bit before we go
There
and
you
whip
go.
some ass.
There you go. Say hi to Stacks for me. I love him. He'll be casting. It'll be a good time. Lots of good people in Northern Arena for sure, and that'll be one to watch, ladies and gentlemen. So just make sure to stay tuned and look for the Northern Arena announcements for stream times and stuff like that. So we hinted on it a little bit. This roster shuffle has been pretty all over the place for both North America and Europe. I want to talk about this as its own subject in itself. But generally, like from what you've seen, what are your thoughts on
It's crazy.
public stuff?
It's insane. Oh, on public stuff? Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about public stuff, and then I'm gonna try to squeeze as much out of you as I can. But
I mean, I can't say anything, but I will say that it's definitely crazy. A lot of stuff that I didn't expect. The rumors I heard when I was in London, like just of things that could happen, like, they were crazy. I couldn't believe it. And obviously we got home and the things started moving, and there's a lot of juicy stuff happening. So be excited. I know quite a bit. And
yeah, I've heard a few rumors myself. It's crazy. It's just so crazy. Like there was a period of time within the week where I just had a list of names and teammates moving around. You got Freaky Leave and Vitality. Everyone's like, what? Everyone's trying to figure out where Scrub's gonna go. Sticky leaves Fnatic, so everyone's like, okay, is he going to Vitality? Is he going to Fnatic? I'm gonna put my bet on Fnatic, but you know that's just me speculating. North America, obviously the whole Chrome situation that I'm not gonna ask you about because that's the North American stuff. You don't worry about those guys. But that was pretty wild to hear all that going on Twitter. They picked up Chicago, which is a good pickup for the team, and then Chrome being left as a free agent. I know it's not possible, but it'd be really cool to see like regions intermix teams.
I've been saying, yeah.
Yeah.
That would spice up the game for sure. That would be fun.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I mean, it'd be great to see a lot of different things for Rocket League esports, but that's a bigger discussion that I'm. Well, I mean, we do have the time.
Yeah.
League play LAN, league play on LAN. Obviously, that's something that everyone wants.
Yes, you have no idea how much we want that. Me, more than anyone. I hate online. I'm garbage online.
And then you'd actually be able to wear your jersey in places other than my talk show on Twitch. So that would be
True. I know.
that would be great.
Per Flipside.
Yeah. And yeah, of course, exactly. That goes back to what we talked about with Hector, where I talked to Hector and I talked to Andy, and they both they get orgs benefit from having jerseys shown in LAN environments because it's the whole thing with sponsorships and stuff like that. So that'd be really cool, but I don't know how long away we are from that. It's I'm just as in the dark as some other people about things that go on behind the scenes, unfortunately. But something I also was behind the scenes with, or in the dark with, because I wasn't there, was Landon. You were in Landon. You were looking fly. I wish I had the picture of you in this Adidas shirt. Guys, go to Zebo. Man, what's Zebo? What is his Twitter?
Zebo Design, I think, something like that.
Yeah. It's like it's Zebo or something like that. Oh, here we go. Zebo Designs.
Zebo.
I love Zebo. I love him.
Yeah.
He every land he goes to, he has a big folder of all the pictures and stuff. It was my last profile picture that he took of me at the season 4 after party. But I scrolled through. I'm like, ooh, let's see this. Let me go ahead and cry because I wasn't at LAN. Let me get the tears out. And then I see Miztik, and he's like, I'm like. I think I immediately messaged you, and I'm just like, oh, you were streaming when I was looking at it. I'm like, yo, this shirt is so cool.
Hell yeah.
Oh, it was so good. But like, I love the fact that Zebo takes all these cool pictures because it brings people who aren't there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
For sure.
but as a spectator and a player, for how was Landon like for you?
Yeah, it was good. Oh, it's obviously super depressing to be there as a spectator, not a player, but I like the event. The venue was insane. The stage was, oh god, I wish I played on that stage. It was so nice. The crowd was, 104 was insane. I actually sat in the middle of the whole thing one day. My ears were bleeding. It was great fun. Good times.
Yeah. People at home could feel it through, because they set up a mic by you guys, and people who were watching at home were just like, this is crazy. Like, these guys are going at it, and all the different chants, like Subpar and Stump and whoever made the Landon Chants Twitter account, they were on their game, dude.
Yeah.
I was impressed. I was like, no one's gonna top this. You have
No.
You have this Landon EU, EU best crowd, EU's best crowd.
Oh, for sure.
They're gonna have a Landon NA. The crowd's gonna be dead. And all I'm gonna do is sit there and watch everyone from EU just like roast us on Twitter, and that's okay. That's okay. I'll let y'all have that one because
I think
that was on point.
I think NA's sign game is better. You know, like with the funny signs.
Yeah,
and whatnot. Their sign game is on point, but the crowd from EU is just good.
Oh man, that's for me. Listening to that crowd, that's what I want to see more from Rocket League esports.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Great.
It's like you're actually like at a football game, in a sense. So it was nuts. Let's talk about grand finals for a bit. That was electric from what I saw. So from your perspective, like, how was that?
It was crazy. It was, I don't know. Again, Turbo was playing insane. I was just watching him just play unbelievable. That was great. Obviously, I think he scored like the goal to put them up in the last game in Game 7.
Yeah.
And Turbo scored it, so I was super hyped. I was like, this is it, they've won. And then Justin scored, and I was like, oh god, no, what have they done? And then Turbo scores again, like 20 seconds later, and I was like, that's my boy, that's Turbo.
He said, that's my boy. Oh, man.
Oh god, the goosebumps when Justin scored that goal, though. There was nothing like it. It was crazy.
All right. I was
Unbelievable.
I can recreate this right now, but like I'm like standing up, like over here. I'm watching. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, he scores it, and then like everyone's just like standing. Well, I'm standing up because I'm in this like server that we're in talking,
Yeah.
and we're all like, oh my god, and then because I'm rooting for NRG, and then once Turbo scores after the bump, like he scored. In terms of director cam, it shows the bump and then it immediately shows the ball going into the net.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was so frustrated. I like slapped the back of this chair. I was like, no, no. It was so
Yeah,
heartbreaking
a lot
if
of
you're an
people were
NRG
disappointed with
fan.
that for sure.
But I mean, for Dig, they played really good. Things started to slip after day one because they dropped to lowers, and no one expected a lot of teams to drop that did. No one expected Vitality to go out as fast as they did. No one expected G2 to go out to EG. EG played great,
Easy had a great run, yeah, for sure.
and that was another thing that like when you looked at the roster move, you were like, what? They like almost made a run, but a lot of people really value Chicago, and once they found out he was like on the market, apparently there's something with this big bid war over a player and all that stuff. So that is what it is for that. But yeah, that grand finals was great. I want to ask you though something because you've been in the same position NRG's been in, like a little bit similar. Not it didn't go two 7 game series, but you guys did.
It did.
Did it go all 7 games?
Yeah, we were upper bracket finals.
Right.
Northern Gaming came from the lowers and they bracket reset us. So yeah.
Did the bracket reset go 7 games?
I think it was maybe 4-2 actually. It was maybe
Yeah.
4-2 then 4-3. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what it was. True.
But asking just from that perspective though, is what I want to get your thoughts on. Just like from being like in the same perspective as NRG, going from uppers and then like having that happen to you, like how you would be the best person I could ask as to like what NRG were feeling after that.
It's the worst feeling ever. It's, I don't know, you just feel so useless. To come so close is just, it's so painful. Like when I look back at that season, I don't know, I just feel disappointed more than I feel proud of like the run we made. I don't know, it's tough. Especially straight after it, it's devastating. There's no feeling quite like it. It's very painful.
Yeah, it's so weird, like sitting from that perspective again, because when everyone else looks at you, you're like, okay, this is the number 2 team in the world, but of course everyone wants to be number 1. That's understandable, and not being able to make it there after just dominating in that upper bracket, it definitely does hurt. It's a weird thing. Like, how do you end up bouncing back from that?
Ugh, bouncing back like from what? I don't know what you mean. I mean,
Like,
my team disbanded and I joined a new team. That's, there's not really much bouncing back needed for me. For NRG, they're incredible. They'll be fine. I'm sure they're super happy to be grinding again this season. They'll be back. God, they might even win gnarly, and they probably won't even care that they lost RLCS that much anymore. But I don't know. They've got a lot of tournaments to play. Their team's fitting well. Like Justin's a great addition, so I'm sure they'll be more than confident for next season.
Yeah, they're going through a lot of different things right now, especially like with the things that we've been seeing from them subtly on Twitter, with the org stuff. True. And then Garrett with the tweet yesterday. I don't know if you want to speak on that a little bit because he did take it down.
I mean, if he maybe he doesn't want to talk about if he took it down, but I'd just like to say that I know what he feels like. I don't know, being in a position where you feel like everything's against you. It sucks, especially in Rocket League. So I don't know, like a lot of pros will feel like that from time to time. He just happened to tweet about it once and. No really big deal. Everyone gets like that occasionally. It's just life.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. Moving back in, we're gonna kind of close this one out a little bit. So talk to me about how the team is currently. Like how are you feeling about Flipside currently? Like where are you guys at versus where you want to be?
From after the season of RLCS finished, we took some time to talk about things. We watched some replays. We figured out why we sucked, all that good stuff. We made changes. All those changes in ballistics in the gnarly qualifiers. We played the best. God, probably the best Rocket League I've played. it was, I don't know, it was a real confidence booster. It shows that we can definitely compete, and I hope that we can work on that. I hope that like the more we play, like the more we develop on that, and hopefully next season in RLCS we'll make it to LAN. We'll be a contender for the title. But for right now, we've got Gnarly as a benchmark, so I'm just really hoping we do well in that.
Okay, that's good. That's good. To talk about you personally, you stream at ungodly hours, but you have an interesting sub sound for your stream. I really wanted to make a point is to like talk about this because someone subbed to you one day and you were like, "There's an interesting story behind this sound." And
Yeah.
If ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, then just sub to Miztik when he streams. I can't tell you his stream times. Just be ready. Just have his like notifications pushed to your phone. That's like the best way to do that, guys. But talk to me about like what's the story behind the sub sound?
Okay, so probably me being an idiot like I am, I'm playing Rocket League at like probably 5 a.m. with Karma and another third that I will not talk about for reasons, and we're just playing. So Karma and this third are having problems, like, you know, being in each other's ass, hitting the ball, and like not giving each other space. And one particular time where Karma got cut off and the ball stolen from her, she had a momentary lapse of calling someone a degenerate, and me absolutely dying of laughter, being the funniest moment of my entire life. And I was like, oh wait, I have Shadowplay. This is my new sub sound. Rest is history. And now I laugh every time I get a sub. It's fantastic.
That's a good way to remember an event, for sure.
Yeah, it was a good night. It was a funny night. I couldn't stop laughing. I think I was crying at one point. But
I was crying.
That's just Rocket League at 5 a.m. for you, isn't it?
Hey, more reason to watch your stream. Easy peasy.
Of course.
Last topic for us today. Flipside at LAN. Is it time? Is it time for you guys to come back?
Oh, you have no idea. Me, Yukio, and Cux first time at LAN. Me and Yuki are gonna pop off. Cux is gonna be Cux, and it's gonna be good. I'm aiming for top 2, top 3 for Gnarly, so that's my goal. Hopefully we get it. And yeah.
You're ready excited. Then. You're ready.
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
It's been too long. I missed out on DreamHack. I've got a lot to catch up on, so.
Okay. Hey, I'm ready to see you there as well. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, that is Miztik RL. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. You can follow the Dave from Dundee on Twitter at Miztik RL. He is a fantastic gentleman. I love him so much. Of course, you can also follow Flipside Tactics on Twitter. Their owner Hector at StatsHelixFrost. I can't believe I remembered that like off the top of my head. Oh wow.
You'll be happy with that one for sure.
Yeah, and. Miztik, thanks for joining me on the show today, guys.
No
Should give him all the love that you can. And that's going to be it for discussions with Dazerin. If you want to see more about me, just follow me on Twitter at iDazerin. I will be leaving in 2 days to go to Texas for the Texas Rocket League Gigaland. You can see more about that at Texas RL. There'll be Phantom Ace, Athena and Rizzo. They'll be doing some streamer stuff as well. If you're local to Texas, you can just stop by as an attendee and get a bunch of cool stuff and just come through and hang out. Free food, free Rocket League. There's a tournament, of course. That's why they're bringing me out. And it'll be a good time. So thank you, everyone, for joining us today or tonight if you're in Miztik time zone. I love you all, and I hope you all have a good one. Peace.